I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. The Senate Budget Committee held a hearing on how to save Social Security on Thursday. During his opening statement, Senator Lindsey Graham said his approach to saving Social Security differs to that of Senator Bernie Sanders. He knocked the Vermont lawmaker for what he described as a fantasy solution. Graham directly said, quote, "If you think taxing the wealthy is going to save Social Security, you're wrong." Listen in for the South Carolina Republicans' full opening statement.
Well, number one, Mr. Chairman, I think this is a hearing worth having. And I take a different view about how to save Social Security. Mine's more realistic. Yours is a fantasy, but the problem is real. And you're a good man. You're consistent. Every time there's a problem, tax the rich. Count me in for more revenue. We're going to need more revenue. But if you think taxing the wealthy is going to save Social Security, you're wrong. So where are we with Social Security? By 2034, according to the recent trust fund report, the money in Social Security will require us to reduce benefits so that you can get only 77% of the benefits you owed because we're paying out more than we're taking in. That's a fact. It slipped a year, but we're on a glide path where over time, Senator Romney knows this, the money being paid in and the money taken out doesn't add up. And if you don't do something now, you're going to have a draconian choice of cutting benefits and raising taxes to keep the thing afloat. But here's the good news. We got some time if we act together. And here's the model I would suggest, the Reagan-O'Neill model. And I think it's in the 80s, Greenspan Commission was formed by President Reagan. Tip O'Neill and Ronald Reagan were known to have a drink together. And apparently during one of those discussions, they said, well, let's do something about Social Security because it's going broke. So they got Alan Greenspan and a bunch of folks to come up with some ideas. They did a little more on the revenue side, but they adjusted the age of retirement over time from 65 to 67. I just got my first Social Security check a few months ago. I was eligible 66, I think, in 2 months. In my case, when I was 21 and 22, my mom and dad died within about 15 months of each other. I had a 13-year-old sister. We moved in with an aunt and uncle who worked in textile plants in South Carolina. Probably never made over $30,000 in her life. The survivor benefit portion of Social Security for my sister until she got 18 really helped us get by. Now I am 66, soon will be 67. I have a good salary. I have a military retirement. I have a congressional pension plan. If you ask me to take a little less to save Social Security for people who need it more than I do, count me in. And it's going to take that kind of commitment from all of us. The wealthier people are going to have to take a little less in benefits. Younger people are living longer, so we're going to have to adjust the age probably once again. But here's the fact. In 1955, when I was born, there were 8.6 workers for every retiree. In 1990, there was 3.4. In 2022, there's 2.8. By 2050, there's 2.2. Senator Romney's done everything he can personally to save Social Security. If you ever go to a Romney family reunion, you'll see a lot of people going to pay into Social Security. I have let you down. I'm not married with no kids. It's people like me screwing this thing up. So the bottom line here is that we have fewer people working for the number of people retired, and if that doesn't create a problem, then I think you're missing the point. 2.2 people by the middle of the century are not going to generate the amount of money necessary to keep the fund solvent if we don't make some changes. So what are the changes that Simpson, Bowles, the Gang of Six, kind of bipartisan people have looked at? Adjusting the age of retirement, increasing revenue, and trying to make the benefit structure more efficient. So I don't need a lecture about Social Security. I understand the value of the program because when I was 22, lost both parents, had a 13-year-old sister to take care of. The money really mattered. It matters to a lot of people on retirement. It's their primary source of income. I'm at a stage now where I could wouldn't change my lifestyle to have a smaller COLA for me, maybe none at all, but smaller for sure, and to restructure the benefit schedule so the money will be there for people who need it more than I do. I don't know how to solve this problem without all of us working together, I know that what Ronald Reagan and Tip O'Neill did in the 1980s worked for a while. We got to do that again. They didn't go to the approach of Senator Sanders of just taxing the wealthy, because it's not going to work as a standalone proposition. So the country is in a world of hurt. Our financial house is not in order. By 2031, we'll have $2 trillion in annual deficits. The national debt by 2032 will be $40 trillion. By 2052, debt to GDP will be 185%. That's a separate problem from Social Security, but Social Security is sort of consumed in that. Now, the trustee report assumed something about the viability of the trust fund, Mr. Chairman. They assumed about a 3.5% inflation rate. Well, we know now that that's not exactly what's going on. Interest rates are going up. Inflation rates are at 8%. Every increase in interest rates is about $200 billion debt service. So we're on a trajectory now. There we go. We're on a trajectory where inflation is higher than anticipated, which puts stress on the trust fund. Interest rates are going up, which will put stress on the economy. So what I propose we do is have this discussion. You can blame us if you would like, but you're not going to be able to blame me for not caring, because I do. And I will challenge your assumptions about how to save the system, understanding you're a patriotic American and you want to do what you think is best. But in your world, we're all the bad guys and you figured this out. You haven't figured it out. What you're selling doesn't work. And we'll have a good discussion about what will work. It will be bipartisanship. It won't be the Sanders plan. It won't be individual private accounts. That might be part of the mix, who knows. The bottom line is we're going to have to make some hard decisions. I stand ready to make those hard decisions. Senator Romney has been terrific. Senator Romney wants somebody outside of politics to give us some information, like we had with Simpson Bowles, like we had with the Gang of Six, to adjust Social Security and stop it from running out of money by 2034 and having to reduce benefits. And I think he and others on our side, and people on your side, quite frankly, are willing to do this. And I would invite President Biden to be part of it. I would love to be able to sit down with the administration and see if we can recreate the momentum for Simpson Bowles or the Gang of Six, where we put on the table something of everything, where everybody has to give a little bit to save a system worth saving. So if this is an election year issue, great. I think it needs to be talked about, and we're going to talk about it in terms on our side that is a little more holistic than just tax the rich. Thank you.